Hello, 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 and welcome to another edition of the Big Freaking Friday Show on the College Football Mafia Network. I'm your host, Nathan Bomber Brown, and with me are my two cohorts and guys that it's a lot of fun to get together with and party on a Friday evening. That would be Professor Wild Ute. I see you added Professor to your name there, Ute.
Absolutely.
That's cool. And then the Moen, the one and only Moen, is in the house. How you doing tonight, Moen?
I'm doing well. How about yourself? I started to drinking at about 7 o'clock. Listened
Okay,
to some music. Got my
good.
stuff ready for the show. Filled out lottery tickets.
I gotta say,
When?
you look really laid back.
He does. He looks.
Is that
I,
pharmaceutical or is that
I got a little
how we?
sun.
Okay, all right, that's
It's
good.
it's freezing cold here, but you can still get sun. But hey man, it's copacetic. It's a Friday. It's a big freaking Friday show. We're here with the best audience in college football. We're here with the
The
best coach in
smartest.
college football.
Yes.
It's going to be a good time. We're going to talk about who won bowl season. We'll cover some of the other ins and outs and particulars that have been going on today. Portal, CSC, state of Virginia, state of consciousness, all of it.
Sorry, I just about spit gummy bear all over my monitor. That's good stuff, Moen. Well, thanks everybody for being here. We know Friday nights can be tough. We know what it's like when we have our family responsibilities. In fact, Ute has been family responsibility week for you, right?
Oh man, yeah. Tell you what, my wife was out of town all week. Kids sports every night, dad dinners, getting home from work after school pickup. I'm happy to be here talking about college football tonight and everything. So it's a good times and everything. And being a dad's great. But I love talking this college football right
Well, like this is like a vacation for you right now, right? I mean, you're getting a
now.
break from what you've been doing. I know exactly what that is. When you have four kids, anywhere from middle of elementary up through senior in high school, you're gone all day. You never get to sit down. You're always running people in cars. You have music lessons and sports, and it's just really hard to do. But you got to cherish those times, because eventually they'll be gone,
No
and
doubt
then
about
you
it.
can be like me, and I get a little maudlin when I think about the stuff that we used to do. So anyway, I appreciate everybody being here tonight. It has been another, Friday news dumps used to be sort of a funny thing. They used to say for politics, businesses, you always want to release bad numbers on Friday evenings. So people don't really cover them till Sunday. It buys you an extra day of news coverage. But Friday now, since we started the channel 3 years ago now, Fridays have turned into the biggest news day of the week. And it's now something people get used to relying on. And the reason it's interesting this year is because it happens to fall on the last day in the transfer portal is Friday, and that's tonight. And boy, I mean, the numbers are just crazy. I was pulling up some data right before the show started. I want to show everybody this one. The transfer portal gives and it takes, right? People don't understand really what they're giving away when they go into the transfer portal. Just really quick, just look at some of these numbers. Sorry, let me pull that up. 10,576 players entered the portal. Now, sometimes when it says entered the portal, they don't distinguish between the kids who have been told their positions have been moved on. The school says, you can stick around, but you're probably not going to be playing on our team. Those are sort of self-inflicted transfer portal entries, but the rest are out there looking for a bigger deal, a better school to go to, better opportunity. Well, 10,500 of them got in, and there's still almost 7,000 of them still looking for spots. I would say a good at least half or three quarters of those may never play upper tier college football again. So what are we doing here, guys? I'm a fan of the transfer portal. I think you guys generally are too. What are we looking at here with this system that it's flawed, but is there a better one? I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's a better one. I think that having more stability, so you can't transfer any second, would be better than this. It's a two-pronged thing, right? So sometimes these players get pushed out by the programs,
They do.
right?
Yes.
They
Yep.
do. And so they basically don't qualify to be in the roster. Maybe they don't meet the NIL, the expectations, so they get nudged out, pushed out. That happens, right? So that probably is most of these portal entries. But the other one is just like, hey, I'm going to throw my name out there, try to get a bag of money and stuff, and
Right.
exposure to get picked up. And that one is probably lesser than the other, but that exists too. I know that there's a couple of youth players and stuff that are still looking for a home that went to the transfer portal. So look, this happens. I think I would like to see more stability back. In the old days of the NCAA and stuff, you'd basically be good with a roster spot with a scholarship and everything.
Yeah.
Depend on 4 years or whatever if you're a player, even if you're underperforming. But in today's world, that's just not the case. It's basically year to year. Well, it's hour to hour from the player's perspective, and it's year to year perspective.
Completely agree. Now, Moen, of the three of us, you're the one that's honestly sitting in the catbird seat. Nobody turns down Ohio State as long as they feel like they have a way to move forward and actually play. What's your view on this, maybe from the top looking down?
You're not going to be able to stockpile talent anymore.
Yeah.
That
105 scholarships. Yeah.
Right. You just can't stockpile it. I mean, these kids, they want to play. They want money. It's hard to give somebody who hasn't played 15 downs $1.5 million in NIL deals. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they jump in the portal and they go looking elsewhere. There's other things they've got to consider. Ohio State receivers, you got Chris Henry Jr. coming in next season. He's going to get a start. He's that good. He's going to be a starting true freshman, just like Jeremiah Smith was. So Mylan Graham, Quincy Porter both bounced out because they realized their playing time was going down. Brandon Ennis stuck around because he realized, hey, my playing time's going up. With Carnell Tate leaving for the draft, I'm going up. But the thing is, you can't stockpile. You don't have these 10 to 16 programs across the country stockpiling talent anymore. You just can't do it.
Very, 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 very true. Let's get to a couple money shots here as we start the show. First, we're going to start with Ricky Tungate in the house, Indiana, playing for a national championship in football, not in basketball. A national championship, and I've sort of got it in my head, if Indiana wins the Natty, or if whoever wins the Natty, I'm going to get a hat. I wasn't going to do it before, but I'm definitely going to buy that hat and maybe even a flag so I can represent Utes. Utes got the ultimate.
Let's go Hoosiers, baby. Let's go.
The ultimate dab up. I love that so much. But Ricky giving 5 new memberships to the College Football Mafia family. Moen, what is that all about?
Well, that means that Josh Huaribi, Midnight Magic Musings, that's a great name, Sean, BYU Football, MGC
Love
Sooner, the runner-up, 5851, were all gifted memberships by Ricky Tungate. Ricky, you don't need to worry about me buying an Indiana hat, brother.
I see that, Moen. I've
got 3 Indiana hats, so I'll wear the third one on Sunday. Go Hoosiers. Thank you for the gifted memberships. If you are in the chat and you see that, I know you're in the chat, Sean, make sure you give a thanks to Ricky Tungate for that gifted membership.
Yes, absolutely.
We're always releasing new members-only content, and we always try and defer to member comments when we're selecting stuff for chat. So make sure you do thank people in the chat. If you got that and you're watching on demand, you're watching later, I know a lot of people watch us on demand, go ahead and leave a comment thanking Ricky Tungate. And Ricky, we appreciate you. I'm going to play a little Indiana for you.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's see, teams, Indiana.
Let's get it.
They bring back the Bison, and they're in the national championship game. Coincidence? I think not.
Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Does anybody remember that movie Back to the Future? Not number 1, but number 2, when he goes into the future and comes across this sport betting book, and you get to hear all the championship teams that have been in baseball and football. I can't remember how many they cover, but one of them was like the Mariners won the World Series. That still hasn't happened. But Indiana winning the national championship in football, especially in this new modern era of football, it breaks the wheel, guys.
All right, I have to correct some things here. The Cubs win the World Series.
Okay, I don't know.
They beat the Miami Gators.
Okay.
Miami didn't even have a team at the time. They didn't have the Marlins, but Yeah, it's Miami. The guy says, I wish I could have went back and put a little money on the Cubbies.
Okay. All right. Thank you for correcting that. You get my idea, though, right? I'm just saying the principles. It's just an insane. We'll talk more about Indiana as the show goes along. Let's get to a couple super chats. First, Miami Flow in the house. That would be College Football Express. If you're not subscribed to these guys, Rock and Rant, Miami Flow, you need to follow them on Twitter. You need to subscribe on YouTube. College Football Express. And look them up. They're Miami insiders, and Miami Flow actually knows recruiting as well. That's nationwide, so I would point everybody to them. Good luck this weekend, Flo. I'm on your side. I'm cheering for Miami, not because I'm against Indiana, just because I've always liked the Hurricanes. But he says, keep up the great work. Go Canes.
Go freaking
All right. Well, he gets a sounder anyway. He gets a sounder anyway, but
go.
Should I give him Indiana sounder?
No. No,
don't do that, Mo. No, not this week.
There's a hurricane coming through.
There we go. I love it.
Thanks, Flo.
Appreciate it, Flo. And then Mark Bowman starts off the show with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
I will have to watch the show on tape because I'm on my way to the wrestling meet between number 4 Iowa and number 1 Penn State. Go Hawkeyes.
Wow.
So what about the Buckeyes, Mark? I mean, 12-0. Ohio
Good
State
job,
is
Mark.
Killing it. But that should be a hell of a matchup. Number 4 versus number 1. Love Big Ten wrestling. It's the home of wrestling champions. We all know it. Speaking of wrestling, let's give him a little Macho Man.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah. Macho Madness, yeah.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. First, let's do shout outs and then we'll get to the news. We'll reverse it tonight, do things a little bit differently. First one in the house was Outlaw Skies, right, Moen? Outlaw Skies, new member of the College Football Mafia family. Thank you so much, Outlaw. It has to be the MAC. Is he talking about the Mid-American Conference?
I think he's talking about the bowl season winners.
Okay. Oh, who's the bowl? The Big Lubbock is first in the house representing the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Good to have you here, Lubbock. Evil Badger, that is Ryan Willie, says, hi, College Football Mafia. Who makes the cut in this potential Super League?
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah, the numbers, we'll get to that in a little bit. I'm not going to interrupt saying shout-outs right now, Ryan, but if we have time, I'll mark that one. We'll try to come back to that. Buckshot Kid says, oh, hey, at the College Football Mafia. Thanks for having us here. Appreciate that. Let's see. Kyo, is that right, Moen?
Kai OH187.
Kai OH187. Okay. The Big Ten won the college football season. Bowl season. I see it right now as a future of Big Ten schools in Miami playing against a current member, Indiana, playing for the championship. No more SEC. Ute.
Hey.
What do you want Ute to do?
I thought he'd have a comment about that. The Big Ten is, and no more SEC. I mean, you got opinions there.
Yeah, the Big Ten and the SEC. I mean, Big Ten's dominating right now. The SEC's down. And we're going to get to that here when we do our winners and losers of bowl season. So that's coming up in the next segment.
All right. Moving on to Antoine Johnson, another valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. Good to have you here, Antoine, tonight. Good weekend. Hopefully you're looking forward to that. We all know the Big Ten SEC want to break away, but can we stop pretending that they said that they are upset about following the rules? Instead of dancing around, just say some teams are not good enough to join us. Either one of you want to say anything about that one?
Some teams are not good enough to join us.
I mean, he's right. Some teams aren't, like, straight up. But the problem for them is some teams aren't good enough to be in their conference too. I mean,
yeah,
like
that
ASU,
is it. Yeah,
like ASU, like there's a bundle of good like AAU level teams and stuff outside of the P2. They're going to be in conversations about getting into a Super League, one of the Big Ten of the SEC Super League breakaway. The main thing is, like, we are better than you. We're going to break away from you and stuff. We can make more money than you. Big 12 and ACC, that's really what it's all about. But yeah, like the narrative about like paying and everything. I will say this, so the SEC has trouble, guys. Like, they have lost their dominance, as we've talked about for a year and squawking about. Yeah. Their collectives at places like Alabama and Georgia are good, but they're not elite. And so they're losing talent. They're recruiting well freshmen, but they're not hitting the transfer portal well. They're losing players to the transfer portal. Their dominance is weaning more and more and more. So they kind of have to pull away too to retain dominance because they can't play this mega booster game. And so it's a little bit of a both.
And everybody knows this, but the Super League thing, I think, is more about building the best football conference. I don't believe in the Big Ten SEC breakaway and do their own thing. I haven't believed in that since the beginning, but I do think something bigger is coming. It just depends what that structure is. Is it 40 teams? Is it 64 or 68? I don't know. 70 has come back again. It's turned the corner. Project Rudy's come back. It's very possible. It's not what anybody imagines right now, but certainly those ideas are out there, and I know people are managing through fear. There's no doubt about that. Daniel Gygak's in the house saying hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Daniel. Daniel does a feature every Sunday night. Watch for his videos in the video section, right, Moen? I want to make sure in the short section. Thank you very much.
It's not necessarily Sunday. It's whenever Moen has time to edit it and get it uploaded.
Oh, I thought he was doing it on
man,
Sundays.
Mr. Gygax.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Bob Swinger in the house. Good to see you, Bob. Hi, everyone. I love Bob. And the Penn State Nittany Lions. Good to have you here. Conundrum checking in says, is this live? Yep, we're live now. Not sure when you did that post, but we are live now. Yep. Skaven, yes, in the house. Go Big Red. Hello, gentlemen. Good to have you here, Skaven. Let's see. Caleb Ramirez, another Ohio State Buckeye, knocking in the doors saying hi, all. Thank you so much, Caleb, for being here. Skaven and Caleb are both members of the College Football Mafia family. You know how you know that? Look next to Caleb's name. See that little symbol next to it? That's an S, and it stands for you are a member of the College Football Mafia family, and it is some bragging rights there. Jack,
no, it's not just that too. I mean, Moen's been putting out real intel from the freaking Big Ten wizard that you ain't going to hear anybody else but the College Football Mafia
wizard
private video. The Big Ten wizard speaks truth. He is the realignment man. He is the wizard of the Big Ten. You got to check him out and stuff. If you are a member of this channel, go check it out. Moen After Dark.
Moen Confidential. The wizard tells ugly truths, no beautiful lies.
Okay, very poetic title. Jack Matheson, good to have you here, Jack. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thoughts on Mark Harlan's comments? I was looking for his tweet and he deleted it. Did you see the Mark Harlan thing?
I was trying to dig it up too. When you asked me the question about 3 minutes ago, I was trying to dig up that tweet. Mark Harlan is becoming more and more of a clown. He's a clown. This is a Mark Harlan supporter historically here that is losing support for Mark Harlan by the day. He just cannot shut his mouth and act professional. What happened here is a recruit from Utah that enrolled. He's actually the number one player in the state of Utah, borderline 5-star kid, high 4-star kid, Celesi Moa. He flipped to Utah on signing day. Utah gave him a huge NIL offer. He's a legacy Ute. Great player at a position of need, a receiver. Huge recruiting win for the Utes. He actually signs with Utah. He enrolls in school, goes to class for a week, and then hits the transfer portal. A legacy Ute with a huge NIL offer hits the transfer portal after being in class for a week, and it just really pissed off Ute Nation. Really, you're in class, you're enrolled. He's a needed piece to this team, and he flips. He's going to Michigan with Kyle Whittingham, and Ute fans have lost their minds on this because he was in school. He went to classes. It just doesn't matter. Anything doesn't matter anymore. And Mark Harlan was fed up too, and he actually had some choice, fun words about Celesi Moa on a quote tweet. I think today or yesterday, maybe
it was last night. It was last night. He was drunk tweeting or something. He was. It was.
I did the same thing. I mean, I quote tweeted it too because I was upset. I let my thoughts known, but guess what? I'm a podcaster on YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm not the AD at the University of Utah. I can say that as much as I want.
Right.
Where's the professionalism? This guy is
athletic director of what's supposed to be a top university in the entire world, and he's out there belittling a high school kid just out of high school.
Tell you what, if the Utes, if they don't have a successful football season, I want to see him gone. I want to see him gone. I will give him several months here, by the end of the year, if the Utes have a poor football season with all the stuff that's went down with Whittingham and how it's handled, he deserves to go. We'll see. I'm right there.
Bulldog, Mississippi, one of our valuable SEC reps. Good to have you here, Bulldog, Mississippi. That would be the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Hey, thank you very much, by the way, for your DB BYU just picked up out of the portal. I don't know if you could give me a quick heads up about how good he is. I watched some YouTube video on him, though. He's a good DB. He's not the slot guy. He's going to be a cover corner. And yeah, I'm really I don't you'll have to tell me in the comments or send me a DM on Twitter. I'd love a background on him a little bit. But he gets 5 more gifted memberships, Mullen.
Absolutely. Marcus Williams, Seminole School, Master,
Nice.
Mosito, Rich Austin.
Let's
you've
go.
all been gifted memberships by our good friend Bulldog Mississippi here in the chat. Make sure you thank Bulldog Mississippi.
Let's
He's
go.
a wild man. He's a wild man.
Yeah, probably gonna die. I knew, man. I knew I'd never make it to 30 because I'm a wild man. Because I party.
Good luck on that offensive tackle, by the way, Bulldog Mississippi. I hope you land him.
Hey, Mon, do we have a cowbell? For
I don't have the cowbell sound effect yet.
We got to put that on the list.
Yep,
that's a good one.
We will get Christopher. Here, I'll do my Christopher Walken. I got a fever, and the only cure is more cowbell.
The only prescription is more cowbell. Yeah. All right. We'll keep going. Big Lubbock, obviously Texas Tech. Rudy.
Oh,
Yep,
man,
a lot of people
Rudy.
cheering for that. And then out of nowhere, off the top rope, comes the one, the only Greg Flugar. Peek around the corner in the house. Good to have you here. The OG guy that's helped us around here. We really appreciate all he does for YouTube and creators around, but certainly for us, somebody who's really become part of the family. Project Rudy coming back has as much chance as my former 32-inch waist.
Like he's right, Nate. I've got to say this. Like, I just don't share the same thought process as like you on Rudy. I want Rudy really bad. Like that's ideal for Utah. That's ideal for BYU, Texas Tech, NC State. All of us outside looking in, but they ain't going to do a Project Rudy. That ain't happening. I just don't see it. It is going to be this Big Ten and SEC pull away. I personally think that it probably goes 24 each. 24 SEC, 24 Big Ten, and then it stops and there's a direct pull away. You got 48 schools, 24 in each conference.
Okay.
And like I see it moving that way.
Okay.
And you know why he's not going to have a 32-inch waist, guys?
Why?
I want a cheeseburger. Come on, everybody got a cheeseburger. One cheeseburger. Come on, cheeseburger. I don't want a cheeseburger. It's too early for a cheeseburger. Too early for a cheeseburger? Look. Cheeseburger.
Greg called me this week, guys, and we had a venting session, and he admitted to me he absolutely loves cheeseburgers. Send him as many cheeseburgers as you can. Double cheese, extra cheese, juicy Lucy, cheese and meat. That is what Greg wants.
Okay. BYU football, Shonsky in the house. Good to see you. He says, hi, everyone. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Get to some more new comments. Fergie in the house. FF18 Fergie. Yo, boys, who knew Rock was really, really nice guy? I did. Had a beer with him in LA to congratulate him on championship game. Have a great show. Sco Buffs. Nothing but up.
Rock and Rant's been so good to our channel. Just like to add on to that, he's a good friend. He's an absolute brilliant genius too when it comes to analytics and stuff. Absolutely, Rock and Rant, quality person.
And good luck, Miami Hurricanes. That's what I say. No, not. I'm going to come back to that one later. Let's see here. I think a couple more, and then we'll just get straight to the news. Tony Lawson says, "Big Lubbock, good luck." I'm not sure what that's in reference to, but okay. Let's see. And I thought there was one other I had flagged. I've done all the super chats, Mo, and there was one. Here it is. Hummus Hero. Good to see you. Hummus Hero representing the Ohio State Buckeyes. Miami got the Duke QB. That's where I wanted to kick off. And that I've got the link for that right now. So this is the post after the post. So basically news has gone out that Mensa, the quarterback that was at Tulane, then went to Duke, big NIL number, think it's like $4 million or something like that, has now moved on. And the school that they're supposedly moved on to is Miami for 2026. I'll read this really quick. Yahoo Sports. A legal entanglement over Duke's NIL deal with QB Darian Mensah must be resolved before a potential transfer to Miami. Mensah announced he would enter the transfer portal less than a month after pledging to return to Duke. And just to explain what they mean about the legal entanglement, he has an NIL deal he signed last year. It's a 2-year deal and has a buyout clause in it. So he's going to have to pay the school back, or whoever is in charge of this contract, whatever that buyout fee is. So guys, I'm just going to bring it to you guys, and I will get the link to this. So I always give credit to the links we use. What are your thoughts on this? I love the buyouts personally. I think that's where we should be.
Well, check it out. Like, something's developing here that hasn't been talked about. Rev share is different than outside collective base NIL, right?
It is.
I'm not even going to call NIL. It's pay for play, collective pay for play, and then rev share through the school, right? And so there's something going on. There's a trend here. Like, if you want to be sneaky as a school and stuff, have your best players sign rev share, multi-year rev share agreements through the school. And so if they pull a stunt like this, then you can try to get compensated for damages. And don't go and have your best players sign through like a third-party collective pay-for-play NIL contract, because that's easily broken and they can flip anywhere and stuff. So you're seeing this Damond Williams had a rev share agreement. Mensah has a rev share agreement. So I wouldn't be surprised around the nation if all the best players have rev share agreement through the schools directly, tying them up and trying to lock them down and snag them a little bit more, because there's no rules out here. So that's something just to be aware of and everything. And if I'm a player, I'm probably going to fight for like a collective base pay for play deal instead of a rev share deal, because I wouldn't want to touch that at all. I don't want to get sued. I don't want damages. I don't want all the baggage that comes with the rev share deal versus a pay for play collective base NIL deal. So there's some initial thoughts here. I think this is a criminal thing on this situation. Like Miami, it's great for Miami. We're going to talk about the winners and losers of the bowl season. Miami Hurricanes, what a score for those guys. It's great. But like, hey, Duke just won the ACC. You're on the last hours of the portal, and you get your star player to flip just hours before. So you're stuck in a position where you couldn't even get a kid out of the portal. How dirty do you want to do somebody? Like, how dirty is that, man? I hate that. I hate the whole thing is just slimy and gross. So that's my thoughts of it. I think it's disgusting, but hey, Miami gets a great player. They're going to be in contention next year, but Duke's got absolute screwballed.
Moen.
Yeah, it's a scumbag move. It really is. You can't say I'm coming back and then a month later decide you're not coming back. It means your word means absolute dick to me. In my life, if I give you my word on something, I'm going to stick to it. Have I ever broken my word to either of you guys?
No.
Never broken my word.
Of course not.
Because you don't break your word to people. So I get Miami's doing it and Miami's cheering it, but to me, it's a scumbag move. And I don't like when anybody – I didn't like it when Damond Williams did it. It's just, if you say you're coming back, you're coming back. If not, he could have entered that.
What if he never said that? What if he never said that?
Well, then it'd be completely different. It'd be completely different.
So your argument is, and we're going to do point counterpoint here for a minute or two. So your point is the fact that he made a public declaration that that's the word that he's going against. Because so if that's the case, and I'm a parent, or if that's the case, and I'm an agent, I'm telling my guy not to say a thing. Don't go. We found out this week, CSC is going and scraping players' social media, looking for cues to whether they got new deals. So if that's how they're trying to find their information out, because it's not being freely offered up, then I would tell my player or my son or whoever not to say anything to anybody about anything. And that way, if I leave at the last moment, people can't be mad at me because I didn't make some public declaration.
That's 100%. And I get extenuating circumstances. If Manny Diaz was fired for some just cause, and I could completely understand that. But when you come out and you give your word and say, I'm coming back, and then a month later, when it's the last day of the portal, you jump in the portal for a bag.
Yeah, it's a dick move. There's no, that is not good. But at the same time, but I would say this. I'm just going to tell everyone, Darren Heitner, represents thousands of these guys, right? He is learning now what CSC is using to get information, and his players are no longer going to talk about NIL. You watch. They're not going to go on social media. They're not going to go make any public declarations. Last year, it was Keanu Tanavasa at Utah, who one week said, I'm a Utah man, I'm staying. 3 weeks later, went to BYU. If he had never said that at the end of the season, said, let's run it back, Utah fans wouldn't have had it. They would have been disappointed, but they wouldn't have been able to point to anything and say, you screwed us. So if that's really the problem, then I would tell, if I'm an agent, I would tell all of my players not to say anything ever.
That'd be wise.
They were at the final place.
Devin Dampier didn't say anything. That's the starting quarterback for the University of Utah.
And then he came back. That's right.
He came back to the U, but he was quiet. And, like, guess what? For the whole transfer portal period, we're biting our nails as U fans.
Holding your breath.
Right, but, like, if he left, he never committed to anything. He never promised anything.
Yes.
But when you say, I'm a Utah man, or like, hey, I'm coming back, re-signed or whatever, you're committing to something publicly. And so you're putting your name behind it. And then you're basically lying to everybody. That's how people feel about it. They feel like you just got, like, they got deceived. You're deceiving and everything. So it's shady. You know, that's why.
And you know, I get it. They're 19, 18, 20-year-old kids. And they may not.
They're not kids. They're pro athletes. No more of that. No more of that. They're not.
Well, I don't. They're
pro athletes.
These
guys making $5-6 million.
Their brains are still not wired like adults.
I'm going to treat them like a pro.
The wiring is not all there.
That's fine if you want to treat them like a pro. And I get that they're still immature. But if you say something and you don't stick to it, in my book, you're a liar. I don't want, and you're always going to be a liar. No matter what you can do 100 great deeds after you've done the one deed that messed you up. I mean,
right. Okay. I think it's an interesting social dilemma we're going to have out in social media and how these revenue sharing deals are going to be reported in the future, certainly. But I think it's if all it is comes down to the fact whether you say something or don't say something in an interview at some point, you're not going to get anything out of these players. A lot like what Dampier did. He waited till the last day, but he came back. If he hadn't come back, everybody would have been, well, he didn't say he was going to come back, right? Mm-hmm. So I totally get what you're saying, Moen. All I can say is this is generational money for some of these kids, single parent moms who've worked 12 jobs to keep their 7 kids in school and everything. Those stories are real, and I don't think they go away just because he happened to make a social media post about the fact. I'm being more forgiving about it.
Here's the thing, though, Nate. It's not like Duke wasn't paying Mensa.
No,
Duke
$4 million.
He was getting generational wealth from Duke.
7.5. 7.5 is double generational wealth.
Well, yeah. Like this is it's like when the lottery's only at like 12 million and people say, I'm not going to play it because it's not enough. It's like, it's 12 million versus 256 million. I would take either.
The story, and I think this is something that, and only time is we're going to get more data points, more information about how the CSC, NIL, Deloitte thing works. Over time, that will mature. But at the end of the day, if all we're talking about is the public persona, you're going to start seeing these type of announcements completely disappear, and rightfully so, because there's no reason as a player you should put yourself through that. It's a mistake. It's kind of like drunk driving. You're choosing to sit in a car, start the car, and drive it. You're held responsible. Not everybody's going to say, yeah, you're a kid, you made a stupid mistake, but that doesn't undo the damage if you hit somebody and kill somebody. So
I agree.
Those long-term, your word is your bond type things in society today, we are losing in general. And I think we just need to say it out loud that we know this is the case. And all we can do as the society is try to do better things for the people that we are in charge of, our family, our friends, represent good values, that type of thing. So, small indication. Go ahead.
Sorry, jump in. Like it's disappointing to see that, like the notion of like a team. This football is not an individual sport. It's not tennis, right?
Right.
Like, and the players are just don't like a lot of players in the pull these stunts. They clearly don't care about the makeup of the team. What happens to their old friends? I guess maybe teammates. Like and like you got to question like what kind of character? Like are you flipping like 2 hours before the portal ends and stuff, and you're screwing everybody? Like that's a high. Like if I'm an NFL team, I'm really not drafting that for a long-term commitment. And everything.
I was just going to say that.
Issue, right?
I was just going to say
Like,
that is a character issue, and the NFL, they will judge you on that stuff. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
Maybe he's not an NFL player and he's trying to get a bag now, but he's basically given like the bird to all of his teams, all of his coaches, like everybody he committed to, and they're absolutely screwed because they're scrambling last minute. They've got no solution. A couple hours before the portal, if you're going to do this, do it early.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that part. I agree. It's not at the end of the day. From all the information that I know about this Moa family, though, they're a pretty straight arrow family. He, like you said, the dad played at Utah. He's a legacy, and the way that this has gone down, a lot of hurt feelings, and I don't know if it's repairable.
The dad's really. I would imagine he's super disappointed.
I think so.
Wanted too. Celeste to play at Utah because he's a huge Utah supporter.
Yes,
but like, hey, he's obviously the kid made his choice. It is what it is. I think that while that's frustrating and that sucks, and Harlan's an idiot for calling that out, I think this Mensa thing is even way worse.
It is dirty. I like the way you guys put it. It is dirty. And okay, so let's break this down. This is a fantastic topic, by the way. Let's break down the next level. And you guys have both hinted at it. I'm just going to say it explicitly. These teams are building around these centerpiece players, a linebacker, a defensive end, a quarterback. Mm-hmm. And if you built your whole team through the transfer portal and you're ready to close the door, put the book and go and let's start doing off-season workouts, and you find out at the last minute you're going to lose your star quarterback, now what does your team do? It's too late. I mean, you can look for a portal. There's thousands of them out there. You can look for a portal quarterback, but if he was that good, he would have been gone already. That's really the next level of this that I don't know a way a school can protect itself there. Can you guys think of any way that the schools can protect themselves in that regard outside of having 2 1A quarterbacks?
Go ahead, Moan.
Well, one, if contracts actually were to hold up, that would be number one, first and foremost. And
well, they're not these contracts. They're not tied to their playing, though. They're tied to their other
NIL.
branding.
Right. But if they actually held up or there were buyouts, you know, at least you could say, hey, yeah, we don't have a quarterback this year, but we got $5 million we could put towards next year because you stole our quarterback.
You write the season off.
You might have to write the season off, or you start somebody. You start somebody who has little experience, and you know. Manny Diaz is not an offensive coach. He's a defensive coach first and foremost.
Maybe I got you. Yeah.
You rely on that defense and you say, hey, I just need a game manager quarterback. I need a Craig Krenzel type quarterback that can come in there and maybe scramble, a Will Howard type quarterback that can come in there and scramble on 4th down or throw a deep pass to one of my better receivers. You know, but I until we get some kind of unified rule system that stops this, nothing's going to change.
I'll give you the last word, then we'll move on.
You can finish it here. I've got a fun exercise that I'm going to be sharing here in a second.
Okay, let me get to some super chats while we're waiting. Ryan Willie, Evil Badger in the house, OG member of the College Football Mafia family, $2 super chat saying Miami is dirty. Well, they've got not a lot of fans in the Big Ten, not a lot of fans now in the fellow ACC schools. Anyway, and then another one from Ryan, another $5. Thank you so much, Ryan. I'm going to give you some claps. We'll give you a sounder here in a second. The younger generation hasn't been told no. They have to temper tantrum if they're told no. There's certainly a lot
Let him cook.
Indications.
Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
Ryan is 100% right on this. I have seen this. If I acted up, I got hit, and I learned not to act up. And I don't know. I agree with him 100%. It's a generational thing. My parents didn't beat the shit out of me or anything, but if I acted up, I got put in my place. So, and kids nowadays, I don't think get that. So,
Go ahead, you.
Okay, let me share a screen here.
Yeah,
So
please do.
this whole like, I even hate the language of name, image, likeness, like what we call it versus what this is and everything. I just
Yep.
wanted to go through an exercise. I have no idea what we're going to find here, but I think this could be an interesting thing to share. Okay, so
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm just going let's just see what happens here. Right, I have no idea what's going to happen. I've got Chat GPT up here. Okay.
Okay.
I've got Chat GPT up. I'm going to search something I've never searched before. Okay, let's find
What
out
is it?
together.
What's it say?
So
What?
the question is this: I want to get around something. Okay, I want to get
Okay.
what's true marketing NIL, like what's your name, image, likeness, and what's the difference between that real market value and your pay for play, right? Like I'm just going to ask ChatGPT AI here.
Okay.
What? Okay, like I know that Texas Tech folks are gonna they hate me as is. Okay, so whatever, right? Like I just got to ask it, right?
No, there's no reason
Okay.
to. Yeah, it's okay.
Right. Okay. What is the true NIL marketing value of a player like Brendan Sorsby in Lubbock, Texas? Is that a fair thing to ask?
Sure. Why
You can
not?
say even nationally. We'll say
You can
and
ask
nationally.
anything you want. Sure. Go ahead.
And nationally. Okay. So here we go. Let's search it out. See what it says here.
Okay.
Okay. So current market reality is NIL deals shows $5 million as a contract value based on, it's going to give some analysis here, but it's saying, okay, is local value estimates between $500,000 and $1.5 million.
What does that mean? Explain that. What is the local
Yeah,
value?
exactly. So what this is saying is that in true name, image, likeness, if he did things like sponsorships with local car dealerships, businesses, paid appearances, social media posting, local interviews and stuff on news stations.
That's
if he
exactly
did
what.
all of that,
Yes. Yeah.
then if all of that combined would come up with a value in Lubbock, Texas, between $500,000 and $1.5 million for a player like him. So
Okay.
that's just true name, image, likeness value based on like AI estimates.
Okay.
So the difference between this reality, and keep in mind he was the number one player in the portal too, right? So he's a big name, and it's saying that he's roughly $1 million, between those two. And the $5 million that he's getting paid is really pay for play, true pay for play. Does that make sense? So he's getting $1 million roughly for true name, image, likeness, and the rest of the difference for pay for play premium. And so I have a hard time just saying NIL, hey, $10 million in NIL. It's basically like maybe $1 million, maybe $500,000 for NIL, and $9.5 million for pay for play. I just wish that we could be more clear on that discussion, because I think that it's not true to really what NIL is and what it's become. I think it's kind of a joke. So I just wanted to go through that exercise. Thanks
What's
for
that?
sharing.
No, putting it back up.
Yeah.
That there was a sentence in there I started to read. It's hard for me to read. It's kind of small, but there was a sentence on that part. Can you put it back up or no?
Yeah, let me share one second.
Yeah, just bring it back up, because I wanted to. There was a sentence below it that explained the $5 million difference. So it says the important distinction. So read that one. It says the $5 million figure is a contract value negotiated between Sorsby and the boosters and collectives, but not all of that is strictly marketing value. Much of it is structured through revenue sharing, collective payments, and third-party marketing guarantees. I think that matters.
In my view, it's saying that's like the slush. That's the premium you could, like,
I would agree.
Terms you're paying.
That's
for
a good
pay
word.
For play.
Right. It's the premium. It's the premium. Yes.
So so why don't we have real? I mean, I just want pay for play contracts so they can bite.
We can't do those until you have a CBA or employment contracts. You have to have one or the other. Because right now you can't.
Right.
But they're not. See, this is the distinction. Until that value and the way you did that math would work perfectly, and I think it's the simplest way to implement something. But they can't do it because right now the players are not paid to play football. In the legal definition, they're not paid to play football. They're not covered by any type of a union. There is no collective bargaining, or they've agreed to rules that will represent their class. None of that is done. And so they can't do a regular business contract like what you're all three of us would love it to be that way. It's very straightforward. If it's a contract, you want to break it, there's a fine, all these other things you could put in place until you treat the players like they're a class and they have rights as a class. Those values, there's always going to be this massive disparity between what the NIL number is and what they're going to get, which is the premium payment. I cannot think of another way to fix it.
The great irony is, like, if you got to a place where you just call these guys your employee, you're going to pay them a lot less than you're paying them now.
So why not do it? They should do that. They should
you can pay them a tenth of what you're paying them now.
I don't disagree with you.
And like,
we've been saying that since 2.5 years.
Like, we're at the point, though, the breaking point where it doesn't even make sense. Like, it's so obvious now that just get it freaking done. Because, like, once they're employees and stuff, then there's not going to be and if there is unregulated NIL, you can actually bite it, right? Like,
but
you can't go outside the systems, right?
And there could be penalties associated with that. Civil penalties could go with if you break a contract. Now all of a sudden, the definition of tampering is associated with something that is tied to the player, which is their player contract. Tampering will never work again, ever, ever, ever. The word might as well just disappear. It will not come back into play until they can do these player contracts or CBA, something like that. Something to attach to their athletic prowess.
Like, what's the school? Why don't they want that? Like, is it just liability purposes?
I think
field. Like, how much are you going to get sued for? Is it going to be less than you're getting in NIL and everything? And like, it's just the cost benefit analysis makes no sense now to not do it.
Hey, you and me both, brother. The reason they're not doing it is you've already said it. If you do it now, all of a sudden you have to treat them a certain way. Right now, you could treat the players however you want. There are no protections. We talked about people going into the portal. Right now, if you had employment contracts with all the players who opted out or changed, you could do legal attachment to those things because those would be individual contracts. You can't have this free-flowing roster crap that now schools are taking advantage of, like Miami getting a portal quarterback every year. You can't do that if everybody's tied to 2 or 3 year contracts.
It doesn't work. It's a huge employer advantage. The schools have a huge advantage. The players right now are ruling the roost, and like basically to get back equilibrium, the schools that basically neuters the players. Like, seriously, like that's how it works in the world, guys. Like, it is and stuff, like it's harder and everything. It's not just this unregulated market and stuff. Like, I would love to see it in the NFL. Like, Patrick Mahomes has got to be worth $1 billion in NIL pay per play per year. Like, it's legit. Like, I'd be so pissed if I was an NFL player and like this stuff is happening in college. Why can't it happen in the NFL? Like, it's robbery,
the reverse, right? I mean, he got a $300 million contract.
But yeah, but how much is he actually worth in like an unregulated booster-related football fan NIL?
But he's already doing that. He's got McDonald's and Nike and Enterprise Rent-A-Car. He is doing NIL on the outside. It's not tied to his football though. It's tied to him as a personality. How much booster
premium of a Chiefs fan could he make? That's what I'm saying. It's like that's where the real money is.
But that's what the CBA does 2 things. It binds the employer to certain restrictions, and it ties the player down to certain things they can do. It does both those at the exact same time. Right now, the NFL has a CBA. They do pretty well for their players. If you can make it to your 4th year, you start getting that second contract, you're doing okay. But that first 3 years is very, very scrappy. They cut people all the time in the first 3 years. So the guarantees come after you've been there for a while. No matter how you want to call it, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years with the red shirt, college is a finite thing. So eventually that will end. So they're not the same. You can't compare them in that regard. Moen, you haven't said anything. I know you feel strongly about the CBA stuff and the employer deal. What's your opinion on this?
Again, I tend to agree with Greg Pflugar. I think you're going to end up with a breakaway system at some point that nobody's going to agree to everything. And at some point, the Big Ten and the SEC are going to come up with their own rules. The Big 12 is going to have to come up with their own rules. And They don't like the other one's rules. They just won't play each other. And
yeah, okay. We just disagree on that application. I don't see that happening.
It's like the Big Ten and the SEC are like that, like always threatening no matter what. Like
well,
this
I
issue,
mean,
that issue,
they get whatever they want and still threaten.
Yeah,
it's a legitimate threat, though. If the Big Ten and the SEC were to pull away, who would be the most damaged? It would be the Big 12 and the ACC.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, yeah, it's a threat and stuff, but I'm saying that like threats come from 360 angles. It's just not this. It's also, we can make more TV revenue and stuff. Like, let's get rid of these. Like, it seems like there's a lot of ways to justify this. A lot of justifications. This is
and I crunched the numbers on Moen Confidential. It's a $500 million extra a year for them. I mean, 500 million. We're talking lots of money.
Yeah, but if you listen to Cody Campbell, 7 to 8 billion if you do everybody together. That's a lot more than 500 million.
If you listen to Cody Campbell.
Look, why is his math any worse than yours? I mean, he's a billionaire paying analysts and outside legal. All their math says one thing. How is he? I'm not saying yours is worse than his, but how is yours better?
Because I'm not a billionaire trying to stroke my ego by holding.
You kind of are, though. You're doing the Big Ten.
I'm
SEC
not a billion.
Ego.
You're going to start paying me in the billions.
The agreement is an ego thing for you, though, Mo. Come on, say it out loud.
It's not an ego.
It would make
thing.
you feel.
It's an economic thing.
Okay, but it's ego. If Ohio State no longer had to play down and all you could play was like an NFL light schedule against the SEC, you would be the first one to celebrate.
No, because I still want Ohio State to play MAC teams.
Okay, well,
I'd still want.
You always have a
MAC
preseason.
Team,
you always have preseasons. You can do stuff like that.
You got a MAC team. You've got 2 G5 teams. You play 1 SEC team. You play 9 Big Ten teams.
Okay.
My problem with Cody Campbell is the fact that I think Cody Campbell is doing all this to stroke his ego, and I think it's going to backfire, and I think it's going to significantly harm the Big 12 in his pursuit for Texas Tech. I think he is doing what he's doing for one school, and it's going to backfire and harm 15 schools.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. But these are things that we agree to disagree on, Moen, for sure. Let's see here. Greg Disney Adventures. That is Expedition Greg in the house, representing the Ohio State Buckeyes. Member for 18 months, guys. He's been with us for a year and a half. Thank you so much, Expedition Greg. It's great to see you. Hey, everyone, go Buckeyes. There you go, Moen. You want to?
He's my best friend. He's my pal. He's my homeboy, my rotten soldier.
What's that even mean? What's that from?
That's from What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, I don't know that. What is that? Is that a zombie
show
movie or
from?
something?
No. It was a movie, and they made a series on FXX. It's hilarious.
Oh, okay.
You should watch it.
Okay.
It's about.
Yeah, I've just not heard it. Is all. Daniel Gygax getting his word in tonight. $2 super chat saying, why not make players $9.90 employees? Yeah, $10.99 is what it would be. I think he just got the numbers off. I'm okay with it too. It doesn't have to be a CBA. It just has to be something that the players have representation on. That's all.
Yeah, like I just know there's a lot of industries that have 1099 employees that really take advantage of their employees. And it's almost criminal what they can do and stuff. Like,
you bet.
I'm just like, that's why it blows my mind. If the schools are trying to save money, like, I'm just gonna be real honest. Like, you 1099 the football players, and basically, it just kills you start like boundaries and stuff. Like, it stops.
So why haven't they done that?
I don't know. I don't get it. I would love to have somebody tell me why that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
from a school's perspective, from a student, that would be horrible, right?
For everybody out there, I am working. I've got my consigliere group sitting out there. I am working on getting 1 or 2 of those guys come back on in this offseason, and we'll talk more about where we've come in a year since the house thing got done, and now we're a year into the NIL Go Deloitte deal. So we are working. We will effort those stories, and they will not be going away. So we'll bring in those legal experts, and you guys can ask them those questions. Jacobra Cat, been a minute. I haven't seen you for a minute. Maybe a minute. Moen and you'd have seen you, but I miss you. Thank you so much for being here. Jacobra Cat's been a long-time member of the College Football Mafia family. Separate rules and threats. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. That's funny.
Well,
That's funny. That's
Mom and
not
Dad
wrong.
cut the mortgage payment there, don't they?
Didn't Jacoba Cat? Didn't he did like the Pimpin' Ain't Easy? Wasn't it that his?
Was
Super
that
Chat?
Jacoba Cat?
Was that Jacoba Cat? I don't know, but let's just play it anyway because
Oh gosh.
we've got a new
Let's go.
emote in chat. By the way, if
Let's
you're
go.
a member,
No way.
we've got a new emote in chat. It is the Pimp Daddy.
Let's go.
Your Nate Pimp
Seriously,
Daddy.
huh?
I'm ready. Play it.
You saying you can't control your bitches?
Pimpin' Ain't Easies. Yes. Oh, sleazy. Pimpin' Ain't Easies. Pimpin' Ain't Easies. Let's go. Ain't Easy. I love it. I love it. Let's go.
The best part about that is when you say sleazy.
I don't even remember.
Freaking time, man.
I don't even remember saying
greasy.
it. That's how funny it is. I don't even remember saying it. So we'll get to some more comments here. Rock and Rant. 1099 is not an employee thing. It's a contractor thing or a freelancer. I think what we're trying to say is there's got to be ways to give players representation without having to remake the wheel. And 1099 is just something I've worked as a 1099 now for years, and yeah, it's not great. W-2 is much better, but it comes with some protections that 1099s don't get. So I don't know. Anything's better than not getting any representation, top to bottom, in my opinion. All right, Moen, we're going to move on. We have covered so much ground in our first hour, as we always do on Big Freaking Fridays. I want to thank everybody for being here. Really quick, let's do a reset. You're here watching the College Football Mafia channel, Big Freaking Friday. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, leave us a comment or question. We do read those. And try to comment back as much as possible. And then consider becoming a new member of the College Football Mafia family. We do have a couple people that have come in tonight and bought new memberships for people. Let's see, the first one, the second one, let's go here. Bulldog Mississippi gave 5. Thank you so much. And then Ricky Tungate, the Indiana Hoosier himself, another 5 memberships. Thank you so much for all those. And last but not least, get involved. Whether you're a member or you're not a member, we love engaging with you. Follow us on Twitter and have a conversation. We take your story ideas all the time and put them into shows, into member videos. And I just want to encourage everybody to do that, get involved. And those member videos, they're special. You'll learn stuff from them. You might not agree with all the data, but the data is there, and it gives you an opportunity to learn something you didn't know yesterday. So I really encourage everybody to watch our member videos. We'll have a slew of them this coming off season too. Season's almost over, and we got a bunch of stuff coming around the corner. So thank you so much for all those things, and we appreciate you being here tonight. Okay, Moen.
Got a couple super chats that came in late here. We're going to get to this before we get to our next topic. The U can have Mensa, but Duke keeps the bikini. Let's see the yellow bikini.
Wow.
She's a big girl, but she wears a small bikini.
It's wrapped on the top, just barely holding on there. Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, like the Indiana.
Whoa, Nelly!
Oh man, yeah, the Duke one's rough to see. We might need to pick out a better swimsuit for Duke.
That's brutal.
Evil Badger says NFL should have a cutoff age to enter the league. Cutoff age should be 23.
Yeah, that can't happen.
That can't happen because of BYU's missionaries. They're usually
no, it can't happen because they bring kickers back in their 40s to kick field goals. So you can't blame it on BYU or anybody else.
Well, I'm just saying
they have free agents come and go all the time in their 20s and 30s. So yeah, that won't work.
I'm just saying there's exceptions to the rule that have to be followed.
There's always exceptions. You're right. You're right.
Thank you for the super chat, Ryan. Let me whatever works. We're gonna get on. We're gonna talk about who really won bowl season here. Bowl season's almost over. We've got the national championship game on Monday. Go Hoosiers. But before then, we're gonna talk about who really won bowl season.
Can I go first? Because I can't stick around a super long time.
I know you can go first, Nate. We'll give you prima facie.
I don't think that's it. I think it's prima nocta.
I don't know. I don't speak Latin.
Yeah, there's a thing we
I
want.
just try and sound.
I know you're trying to sound
Nate.
smart. Okay, all right. 5 things. Mo and Cudis. 5 things we take as winners coming out of this bowl season, which is almost over. Again, salute to Indiana and Miami making it this far. It's amazing. I hope the playoff expands. One of the things out of my 5 that Mo asked me to queue up on is that I think the first thing I would call out is that I think bowl season's been exposed for the flaws it has. The teams that were left out of the playoff this year, a bunch of 10-2 teams. I don't think people are going to be okay with that. So I think this offseason we're going to get to 16, hopefully. I would love to see a path towards 24. I'm not sure that'll happen, but I hope this is the last year we see 12. There's not a guarantee, but it's exposed a lot of the flaws in the system. Also, and this is all in the same one, the committee has been exposed as just a complete joke. And you add people, you lose people. I guarantee you, I'll put it this way. I think BYU makes the playoff if what's his name from Baylor doesn't get thrown out.
You think BYU makes the play? You think Mark Harlan kept BYU out of the playoffs?
No, I don't. I didn't say that. I just think if he was there, the other guy would have just helped more. That's all I'm saying. I'm not marking Mark Harlan at all. Okay, so that's first one. Second one is I want to say that Indiana and Miami winning the national championship there is fantastic for college football. I think looking forward, it just tells that you can have more brands come in and actually win. It's threatening to the Big Ten and the SEC. It's threatening really to the SEC because their dominance is pretty much over. If we haven't proven it over the last 3 years with Ute, who has laid out so much data on why things are so different now for the SEC, I think it's a big deal. And everybody needs to be paying attention to that. Where's my let me rant. There we go. So that's the second thing is I think that at the end of the day, hopefully that stays with us and we get something better. Always moving better, always new teams. The more teams we have in, the larger the playoff, I think the better off the system will be. Next thing I'll have is, and this is going to shock some people, but a lot of people have been ascribing Miami's strength as an ACC strength. And I think that's a complete false narrative. I don't think the SEC, in fact, I think the ACC even looks worse. It only has now 1 or 2 teams that can come through at the end of the year. Last year they had 2, and neither one of them could even compete in a football game. This year, dominate by Miami. Well, they've got top 5 NIL at their school, and they've got a coach that is a proven winner. And I think all Miami coming through is they're showing out that they are one of those OG brands that really, in my opinion, should be a blue blood anyway. They should have already been in a Big Ten and an SEC, and I think they're just showing out. That's the third one. The fourth one is I'm going to say 2 things, and they're equal and at the same time. Bowl games don't mean anything. They have no relevance to the world we live in. At the same time, they make gaggles of money, and they're fun exhibitions. We need to be able to say those 2 things. It's a conjunctive sentence. It's a semicolon and then another phrase, but it's all one phrase. Both those things can be equal at the exact same time. And if we've shown anything, good brands in bowl games will bring big numbers. Big numbers. 8, 9 million viewers for a bowl game that really, what are they there for? That's huge. And it shows you the strength of the bowl games, which I think then tips the hat to what if those 2 teams were playing in a first-round playoff game? How cool would that have been on a campus environment? I love that. I think that all that's great. But it just, you can't claim a win if you're a big bowl fan. You can't claim a win and say, see, we're relevant. No, you're not. Not relevant. You're having fun. You guys get that Christmas trip and you're out the door. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter in the wider scheme of things. I wish it did, but it doesn't. And the last thing I'm going to say is, at the end of the day, we are learning that you do not have to be in the Big Ten and the SEC to win a national championship. Regardless of who you are, anybody can go out and win if you can get the right resources. Indiana's doing it with three and a few 4 stars. but their coach is fantastic. Their culture is amazing, and he knows how to win football games. That's all he's done there is win football games. So if you have a coach that can inspire, that can recruit, and that can keep a team together, like BYU did this offseason, I'm not going to talk about BYU, then you can go out and win football games. And if you win football games, that's all anybody should be paying attention to. The badge that you wear on your jersey, the fact that it still has any power is what's broken in college football. And I just think the more we get these schools in that have never won, or certainly not won in a long, long time, the better the product will be. And hopefully we get more football games to expound on that. So that's my 5. I think they're pretty clear. They're more about organization than they are about individual schools or anything else. But I think with all the chaos, we've still come a long way from where we were BCS with 2 teams.
All right.
It's great.
By the way, Nate, I've changed my name to Professor Moen because prima facie actually means on the first impression. So I did get that correct.
Well, okay.
You were on the first impression, so you did have primo facie.
I got you. I was thinking the other primo woman. That's okay. We won't talk about that one. Okay. You guys have any comments or questions about mine?
No, you went through them pretty quick. So, I was going to do a back and forth kind of thing, but I understand you have to leave, and that's why you did it super quick. But I will go ahead and give mine first. The ACC weak narrative is dead. The Atlantic Coast Conference for months, talking heads and the committee treated the ACC like a Power 2 punching bag. The conference responded by going 9-4 in bowl games, the best winning percentage of the Power 4. Miami making the national championship run is the headline, but the depth showed up too. Duke, Georgia Tech, Syracuse wins. The narrative that the ACC is a one-bid league or on the verge of collapse took a massive hit. They didn't just win games. I think they won some respect. But
okay.
You go now. You go. You go.
You know what? Mine's going to be a little lengthy here. So, Nate, if you've got to jump out and stuff, I'm going to.
Yeah, I should take off. I want to thank you both. I hope you have a great weekend. Big playoff weekend here all the way through Monday night. Everybody go Indiana, go Miami, go Hurricanes. And Seattle plays tomorrow night. Everybody's a Seahawk fan tomorrow night. You better show up for my team. Let's go Hawks. And I'll say go Cougs. Everybody else have a great night. Thank you, Moen. And you. It's great to see you guys.
Take care.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right, see you, Nate.
Peace.
All right, Moen.
There we go.
Okay, Moen. So let's do this. Let's rehash yours so we can get a little bit more into them. And if you can think of any 5 losers of bowl season 2, that'd be great. So let me pass you first off here my 5 winners of bowl season, and then I want to hear about yours a little bit more.
Okay.
Expanded version. Okay.
All right.
All right. Number 1 winner of bowl season is elite players getting paid unregulated NIL, pay for play, baby. The winners of bowl season are the players that had the capacity to jump in the portal and make $7 million, maybe even $8 million with incentives. We'll see how much Mensa gets. My goodness gracious, the inflation, the creepflation of new player pay for play is insane. It's going to keep getting more insane per year. But the absolute number 1 winner is if you're a high profile transfer portal player, you got paid. Number 1, 100%. Number 2, and I think this is actually a combination of both of these programs that are actually winning right now, and then they're winners of the bowl season. And that's both the Indiana Hoosiers and the Miami Hurricanes. Their football programs. They are in the number 2 spot together because they are going to the national freaking championship and playing off for a title. Number 1, that's what it's all about. That's why we play college football, to win the freaking natty. And they're in it. There's so much noise and stuff that gets lost. They could freaking win a national championship. Indiana could get it done with a national championship. I cannot believe I'm saying that. And Miami can beat greatness. They're already a blue blood in my mind's eye, but more of a blue blood if they win this game. They're at Miami playing in the Orange Bowl. What a freaking game that we're going to watch. Not just that, though, Moen. Not just that, okay? But also in the transfer portal. They're killing it in both places. So they're winning now, playing for a title. They're building for the future, so they're competitive next year. I mean, we're talking like big-time transfer players. Josh Hoover for Indiana, Darian Mensah now for Miami. You've got to be freaking kidding me. They're crushing it in the portal, recruiting, so they're winning in all aspects. Indiana, Miami. Do you want to jump in?
I was going to say that you mentioned the Orange Bowl. The Orange Bowl doesn't exist anymore. It's the Hard Rock. Yeah, they tore down the Orange Bowl. It's now the Hard Rock.
The
Stadium.
Orange Bowl. Yeah. Hard Rock Stadium, right? Like playing at basically where Miami's home field is, right?
Yep.
Home field
Miami's
advantage
home field.
Miami.
Yep.
100%. So then third winner here. Third winner. This one pains me to say, Michigan football. Michigan Wolverine football. Kyle Whittingham going over to Michigan and bringing Jay Hill and Jason Beck has, telling you, like, I think that Michigan has the staff, now has the players with who they've retained, who they've brought over from Utah, some of the most elite players for Utah, that I think this school is in serious consideration for the national championship next year. Serious consideration. I think that they will be a top 3, maybe top 5 at most, like betting favorite for a national championship. They might freaking be number 1. I don't know. But Michigan's going to be absolutely loaded with the best coaching staff, in my point of view, that they've ever had. So Michigan football future and the intermediate future is a huge freaking winner this bowl cycle. Okay. Number 4, ACC Big 12 perception. This is exactly what you said. ACC Big 12 perception. ACC has been killing it in bowl games. Everyone had buried the ACC. They've been killing it. Now Miami is in the national championship game, playing a home game for a natty again. And so the ACC all of a sudden looks a lot better than it did before the bowl season started. And the Big 12 pooped itself. It absolutely pooped itself. I don't care what you say. I don't care what the bowl record is. It's basically 500 anyway. But Texas Tech's loss with a 0-0 burger versus Oregon paints perceptions in such a crap way for the Big 12. It's rough to say as a Big 12. Utah's in the Big 12. And it just is what it is. I mean, there's no way around it. So Big 12 ACC perception, I think that the ACC is built itself up, and the Big 12's really knocked itself as a national title contender going forward because of the performance that we saw this year. It just is what it is. I hate it. It is what it is. And lastly, the Big 10 for the winners. The Big 10 with the bowl game winnings, with all the Big 10 had a huge season with Indiana now in the national title game. You got to be kidding me. Like, they're absolutely dominating. They're crushing the SEC. They've gained the most power in college football. They're the number 1 player conference-wide in college football. They're gaining more and more power. I don't think there's any doubt that the Big 10 Conference is a winner in bowl season. What do you think about those?
Those are some interesting. I'll go ahead and give my 5 winners, and then we'll talk about the losers.
Yeah.
Obviously, number 1, again, the ACC week narrative, I think, is dead. Number 2, the Pop-Tarts model of entertainment. Non-playoff bowl games, critics said the expanded playoff would kill the meaningless bowl games. Stats say otherwise. Viewership for non-CFP bowls on ESPN were up 13%, with the Pop-Tarts Bowl, BYU versus Georgia Tech, drawing 9 million viewers. 9 million viewers for the Pop-Tarts Bowl, guys. That's huge. That's huge. Bowl season is not dead. The college football playoff did not kill bowl season. People still tune in. People still watch. People do, there's going to be some blowouts, but there's going to be some competitive games as well. So, and I think Brock and I have talked about this before. The Pop-Tarts model is the perfect model. They've got it figured out. Number 3, Indiana. It's the ultimate brand return of investment. Cignetti and the Hoosiers, regardless of what happens in the national championship game, Indiana has already won this season. They went from a basketball school afterthought, historically the worst program, to knocking off Alabama in the Rose Bowl, 24 million viewers. They proved that in the NIL portal era, you can rebuild a brand overnight. They are no longer a nice story. They're a television draw. That momentum pays dividends in recruiting for the next decade. I think this is going to be very interesting to see what the final rating is for this national championship game. I think this national championship game can outdraw Ohio State Notre Dame from last season.
No way.
I think so. And I think if that's the case, Indiana, boy howdy, she's a runner. My number 4, future face of the sport. Everybody this year, talking about Arch Manning was going to be number 1 overall in the draft. Arch Manning was winning the Heisman. Didn't happen. But Arch Manning and Texas didn't make the playoff. Disappointment. But they won the bowl season. They got a head start on 2026. In the Citrus Bowl over Michigan, Arch Manning threw for almost 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. It's finally clicking for him. I look for Arch Manning next year to be probably your Heisman favorite. I know he was the Heisman favorite this year, but I think now that he's got his feet wet, he's getting comfortable in Steve Sarkisian's offense. I think it's going to matter. Texas manufactured tons of hype. They successfully transitioned from Ewers to Manning on a national stage, ensuring that they enter the offseason as the odds-on favorite for every media conversation. I think they're probably going to be your number 1 team starting next season based off of what they did in the Citrus Bowl. And my 5th winner, Big Ten's middle class. Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota. Big Ten went 10-5, but the real story wasn't Ohio State or Oregon. It was the middle of the pack beating the SEC teams. Iowa, Illinois, and Minnesota all secured wins, often against quote-unquote more talented SEC rosters. It validates the Big Ten's conference depth. The Big Ten proved it isn't just the Big Two and everyone else. The Iowa game against Vanderbilt, the Illinois game against Tennessee, exciting football games, overcoming odds. The Big Ten middle class, I think, is one of the big winners in college football bowl season.
Well said. It's hard to argue against that too, Moan. With like the middle class, so like in Indiana probably going to win the national championship. Like Indiana might be considered middle class if they win the Natty even, but like, man, they're almost like a new blood, right?
See, I wouldn't even consider them. They're just, it's huge. They're not middle class. They're top tier.
No.
They're a top tier team. And I think they're going to be a top tier team for years to come. It's not anywhere. A flash in the pan. Yeah.
Not when you're winning with 3- and 4-star players with that level of coaching. Now the commitment from Mark Cuban, they will not be going anywhere for a long time. They will be competing and winning Big 12 titles every single year or in contention. Like you almost wonder if Indiana is going to approach like that Penn State annual realm, right? Like I don't know Penn State's NIL situation. I understand that Michigan's extremely strong. I know Ohio State has a lot of backers. It's really good. I don't know Penn State's though. Is Penn State's NIL at the level where Indiana will be? Like who are the top 3 big dogs of the Big Ten now?
I don't think, see, that's the thing. I don't think there are top 3 now. I think there's top 6 to top 8. I think there's enough depth in the conference that we're talking. What are you drinking, by the way?
A mixer.
Okay. fantastic. There's top 6 to top 8, I think, in the Big Ten now, and that's the difference. Listen, Illinois, hell of a team this year. They slipped a couple times, but Illinois could have very well been in play for college football playoff. Burt Bielema had that defense roaring. A good job by Luke Altmaier. So, but who do you think are the biggest losers? The biggest losers in college football bowl season?
I would love to outline 20. We're going to keep it to 5.
Okay.
There's a lot of losers, okay? All right, the biggest freaking losers of the college football bowl season, number 1, poor schools. Poor schools as far as institutional support and as far as booster collective pay-for-play support. Look, we're talking about the future. There's no one to help here. The CSC is not going to be able to save the day. It's not going to be able to regulate things. We are living in an unregulated world where top dollar wins. And so if you are a school that doesn't have the resources, especially in the Power 4, you are mega screwed. You are the big loser of this bowl season and next until things change, if they ever do. Poor schools with poor collectives and booster supports are 100% the loser. Is there any debate on that, Moan? Like any debate? If you're a poor school, do you have any chance going forward to even get to a college football playoff? What do you think?
I don't disagree. I think it's all about money now. It's all about money. And not even so much money as investment. Can you invest in your school? I'm sure Indiana does not have the highest NIL budget. They only play 13 guys on defense. They don't have the highest NIL budget, but they invest it properly. It's proper investment. And I don't think these schools have the proper investment. They don't have the know-how. They don't have the resources.
Right. Yeah. So, and that's my view. It will be my view next year and the year after until the ecosystem changes in college football. You better have a lot of money, or you better have someone that's willing to bring it in, or you're going to get left behind. And that's exactly what's happened. Poor schools, number 1, loser of bowl season. And number 2, the SEC dominance narrative. The SEC dominance narrative. The days of the SEC reigning college football are over. This is part of the reason why they want to pull away, to keep that prestigious narrative that they are the best. Look, the NIL world has changed SEC football. It's still an elite conference, but no longer the best conference. They don't have the best NIL support. That is the Big Ten conference as far as a whole, and it's showing up on the field. So the idea of an SEC narrative is gone. There's no way to support it anymore. There's 3 consecutive years of no national championship game player for the SEC. It is what it is. The SEC has come back down to earth. The Big Ten has risen above. SEC dominance narrative needs to go. Even Paul Feinbaum will admit that one. I think everybody can. Their SEC narratives down the drain. Loser of the bowl season, number 2. Number 3 and 4, I'm going to touch on these briefly and stuff because these are mega sucks, okay, for specific programs.
Okay.
Duke football, number 3. Duke football wouldn't have been on this list a couple hours ago, but losing Mensah late in the transfer portal era, like the last day of the transfer portal today, they are in big trouble as finding a rebound quarterback. I don't know the solution for them. They're not going to probably be nearly as competitive as they were. They won the ACC this last year. Duke football got the biggest screw job I've ever seen in the transfer portal era. Duke football is a massive loser in the transfer portal. I don't even care who else they signed. I don't care because they didn't get a quarterback like Mensah, and losing him in the last wee hours of the transfer portal mega sucks. They got uber screwed. I hate it. But they are the number 3 loser in the bowl season, Duke Blue Devils football. Number 4, this is similar in a different way, though. I hate this too because it's a great fan base, very likable fan base. They deserve better than what they're experiencing now, and that's the Iowa State Cyclones football program.
Okay.
Matt Campbell left Iowa State, went to Penn State, and pulled basically the entire freaking football roster and neutered a very strong football program. I don't blame Matt Campbell for leaving and everything, but it's rough when you take everything and you leave the cupboard completely bare, and that's what Iowa State is right now. They find themselves that. It's been known for many years here, 2 or 3 years, that Iowa State's been struggling in the NIL era. Their AD's been speaking to this time and time again. So we know that resources are tight at Iowa State. Now their elite legendary coach is gone. He takes all his best players like Brock Purdy. It does not look good right now for Iowa State with the new coach, the new transfer portal players and stuff, and with the NIL support struggling. I hate it, but it does not look good for the future too of Cyclone football. I hope they can rebound. But Iowa State is a top 5 loser in this bowl season. And then lastly, the biggest villain of bowl season and a loser in bowl season is DeMond Williams. DeMond Williams, for his stunt that he pulled on Michigan, trying to get out and trying to bounce down to LSU. Nope, didn't work. Didn't work at all. It got so bad that his agent dumped him and he had to go right back down to Washington and beg for them to take him back. DeMond Williams, what he pulled at Washington and had to reverse 180 right back to him. He is like the villain still of like the NIL era, although Mensa with this new stunt and stuff didn't get as much like PR and everything as Williams did. It's crazy how like that narrative forms, but I think Williams is the ultimate individual player villain really of college football right now. So he is a loser in this bowl season.
Fair enough. My losers, number 1, the Southeastern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
The narrative of FCC invincibility didn't just crack this postseason, it has shattered. The conference marketed at the Sports Premier League posted a disastrous 2-6 record in the bowl and playoff games. Ole Miss did make a respectable run to the semifinals. The rest of the league crumbled. Tennessee, LSU, Mizzou, and Vanderbilt all lost their bowl matchups to lower ranked or non-power opponents. Georgia was eliminated in the quarterfinals. Alabama suffered a historic humiliation, 38-3 in the Rose Bowl against Indiana. Texas A&M lost a home playoff game. The "It Just Means More" slogan rings hollow after the Big Ten and ACC claimed spots in the national championship game. This is the 3rd year in a row, guys. No SEC team in the national championship. My number 2 loser is Alabama. There is no quality loss argument to salvage this one. Alabama entered the playoffs as a controversial 3-loss at-large bid. Committee darling, if you will, only to be absolutely dismantled by Indiana in the Rose Bowl. For a program built on dominance, scoring just 3 points on a national stage and getting blown out by a program that was historically a Big Ten doormat is, probably the low point for the post-Saban era. It validated every critic who said they didn't belong in the field over teams with better records. Speaking of which, my number 3, Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish are the biggest losers of the politics of the sport. Despite a 10-2 record and a top-tier ranking for most of the season, they were the first team left out of the 12-team field, snubbed in favor of the Miami Hurricanes, who ironically proved the committee right by making the title game, by the way. Feeling betrayed by the process, Notre Dame reportedly declined a bowl bid, meaning they spent January at home with nothing to show for the season but grievances. The success of the team that replaced them, Miami, only twists that knife further. Yes, Notre Dame took their ball, stayed at home, would not play in a bowl game. Pussies. Texas A&M. The Aggies had everything set up for a deep run. Favorable seed, home playoff game. Kyle Field against Miami in front of 100,000 plus of their fans. Their offense completely evaporated. Losing 10-3 in the first round is a brutal way to end the season. It wasn't just a loss. It was a boring, offensively inept performance of that wasted one of the best home field advantages in the sport. 10-3. And it was awful. My number 5 loser, Texas Tech. Red Raiders were one of the season's best stories, surging to win the Big 12 and securing a first-round bye. However, their quarterfinal appearance against Oregon served as a harsh reality check. The gap between the Big 12 and the Big 10/SEC Elite. Tech was shut out 23-0. They looked physically outmatched and unable to compete with Oregon's speed, turning a Cinderella season into a reminder that the Big 12 has work to do to compete for championships. They need complete teams, not just defense. And that's why Texas Tech is my number 5.
Crazy, Moan. I thought this one was you'll enjoy this right here. You had a little freeze out during your session, so
I'm the best ventriloquist of all time. That's because I actually wrote my thoughts down ahead of time because I knew I'd probably be too inebriated. So I pull up the word file, and sometimes that freezes me.
Cheers to you, Mo. That was great stuff and everything. Like, yeah, there's some definite losers, and I do want to speak to a comment here that Big Lubbock's made. I'm going to show it right here. Look, Utah. Okay, Utah should be in the same category as Iowa State as the biggest loser, right? I'm sure that if Nate was here, he would say Utah was one of the biggest losers of a bowl season. But I will say this. Utah's not a winner of bowl season by any means, but Utah made the decision to go with Morgan Scalley and push Whittingham out. We've talked about this on this channel many times. So Utah actually laid this bed, unlike Iowa State, who Matt Campbell took a different opportunity. It's a different story when you've actually decided on a coach. You deal with the ramifications. That's the difference between the two programs. Utah's lost some portal players. They've added some good ones. They will be in contention for the Big 12 championship next year, but they're not going to be number 1 or 2 on my picks as far as winning it next year. But I don't think they're a winner, but I would put them somewhere in the middle. What do you think about that, Mon?
I agree. And Sean says, you're shitting me. You really need a complete team. LOL. I wouldn't shit you, Sean. You're my favorite turd. I swear. We're going to reset. Those were our biggest winners and losers from bowl season. We've got about 20 to 30 minutes. We're going to take comments. Obviously, we defer to members only comments first. Just to reset here. If you want to support the channel, help us pay our bills. January is when we pay most of our bills. Go ahead and leave us a super chat, a super thanks, a super sticker, a super membership gifting. We've already had quite a few tonight. We appreciate all those, but we would ask that you do more simply to help us get these bills paid. $500 is what it costs us for StreamYard every year. It's outrageous. It's insane.
Per year, man.
Insane. But we're going to get to as many comments and questions and queries as we possibly can, as long as I remain sober. You has switched over to you're drinking Screw Canoe beer.
Hey man, this stuff is water. Like I don't know in like the state of Utah, like what's like the APV out there in Ohio, Moan, for one of these type of beers here?
I don't know. I had some of those Michelob Ultras and I called them. I had asked for Heineken and I ended up with Michelob Ultra. So I call it Screw. I call it Screw Canoe. Because it's fucking close to water. Antoine Johnson, good to see you, Antoine. We all know the Big Ten SEC want to break away, but can we stop pretending they are upset about following the rules? Instead of dancing around, just say some teams. Oh, I think we already did this, and Nate didn't.
Yeah, I don't think that some of these got unstarred here, so we might have to go deeper here.
I can go as deep as you want to, you. The Big Ten won the college football season. We already did this one too. Nate, damned you. The Big Lubbock says Texas Tech will win the Natty next year. There you go. Smoke a Tarleton. Smoke them if you got them.
Smoke a Tarleton.
Outlaw Sky says, let's go.
Oh, sorry. Can we go back to that thought? I don't know if you unstarred that.
I unstarted already.
Texas Tech's going to win the national championship next year. I got to be real with Texas Tech guys, right? Guys and gals and stuff. We've got them all in our community. We love you all and stuff. But Wildute always tells you like it is. Like Texas Tech is taking a pretty good step back next year, guys. David Bailey, Romello Height, like your defense, Rodriguez was an all-time elite defense. I've been looking at the transfer portal stuff. Brendan Sorsby is great, whatever, but like Utah rocked him by 40 points last year at home and stuff. So yeah, okay, whatever. Bring Sorsby over. I don't see many other stars in the transfer portal on that Tech roster. It's nothing like they had this year. They're losing a lot of pieces. Texas Tech is taking a step back next year. They're going to be in that realm with Utah and competing for a Big 12 championship, but they ain't the favorite.
Okay. Outlaw Sky says, let's go already. We went. This is one that Nate wanted to come back and revisit. Who makes the cut in this potential Super League? I will go ahead and say it. Every team that is currently in the SEC plus Clemson, Florida State, Virginia, North Carolina. Every team that's currently in the Big Ten, excluding Miami, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, and Stanford. There may be two more that get into the Big Ten, but I think the Big Ten would be happy to stop at 20 with Georgia Tech and Miami. I think at that point, Notre Dame would notice the walls are closing in, as our friend Greg puts it. They would join in. They would bring Stanford, and the Big Ten can either stay at 22 or go to 24 with regional pods. If they go to 24, it comes down to Cal versus Utah.
Right. Yeah, I'm with
you. Who do you think wins that?
I mean, there's some pretty serious bias on my end, so I think that the answer to that and everything. But
I think if Notre Dame wants, it's whoever Notre Dame wants. And if
Notre Dame's going to get Stanford, so I don't think that double dipping and I don't know. I don't think Notre Dame's going to have much of a say with that. Why would you want to double dip there? Look, I will say this: it's if you're making a Super League and it's going to be the SEC and the Big Ten, then you really better, like for the future on the health of that league and for the sport, you better have a mountain team. One at least, right? You can't just if you leave the mountain now, it will result in less football development or less football intrigue in the whole mountain and desert region. So you're leaving out an entire region, which seems unwise if you're just going to go grab Cal, right? So I think that,
and you're already grabbing one Bay Area school in Stanford,
right?
Salt Lake City has lots of money. Fast growing, for obvious reasons. But I will say this: when I say Super League, you're still going to have a Big Ten conference. You're still going to have an SEC conference. I just think they're going to work in conjunction with each other to a much closer level. But who do you think makes it in?
I think that I'm going to make some videos about this, so I can't reveal my findings because I've been noodling on this. I've been diving into the data and everything. It's a fantastic question, and Ryan Willie, you will have your answer and stuff. But I'm actually going to expand a lot more and stuff on a video on this and stuff in this off season. So looking forward to it.
Fantastic. New Wild Ute University. Check that out coming down the pike. CFB Peek around the corner with Greg Pflugar. Good to see you, Greg. Ross Dellinger on 365 Sports said the SEC competition only concept is not a shot across the bow. It's an option the SEC is seriously looking at for near future. So basically the SEC playing 12 SEC conference games.
So Ross Dellinger on 365 today said SEC competition only concept is not a shot across the bow. So it's not a threat?
I think he's saying it is a threat, but it's not an empty threat. And Greg did send me the link, but I have not been able to watch it yet. So
I don't think it's it's loaded up, right? I mean, the SEC is playing very seriously right here. And I think that it'd be very attractive the SEC wanted to pull away 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think they've changed their mind on that. Like this, what justification can they follow so they get limited backlash or less backlash? That's what this game is, right?
The Big Lubbock says, Ruddy. He's a fan of Rutherford B. Hayes.
Rudy.
In other news, I will be going back to work February after 4 years. Woohoo! Absolutely, congratulations, Antoine.
Work 'em. Work 'em.
Work 'em.
Dude, hey, look, I know what you're thinking. This is actually the ASU sign.
Shocker.
Right?
You got the shocker up there?
No, look, this is the ASU sign. It really is.
Yeah,
like,
that's.
Man. Seriously,
We don't call that the ASU sign here in Ohio. That's the shocker.
That's fork 'em, man. That's ask.
Yeah, you're
ask
forking them. You're forking them for sure.
Back me up. This is like the fork 'em.
You're forking them for sure. Who gets left out if Virginia becomes an option for the Big Ten? It's a great question. Probably a Kansas or a Utah. Kansas or Utah, because Virginia's academics are much, much higher than Kansas and Utah's. And you're taking Virginia simply because Virginia is a elitist. Well, I wouldn't even say an elitist, but it's an academic ad. Correct? You're taking it for the heritage, the what's the word I'm thinking of? The prestige. You're taking them for the prestige.
Yeah. It's like taking Stanford. It's like
you're
it's like
taking
a
it
Stanford of the East and the West. But I'm with you, Mo, and I think they both get in. I think Stanford's going to get in the Big Ten Conference.
If Notre Dame comes along, absolutely. Let's go ahead and give him a little Matt Damon. Come on, Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Matt Damon. Matt Damon. Matt Damon.
Matt Damon from Team America World Police. Thank you for the super chat, LC versus Earth. Yeah, I think you would lose Kansas or Utah.
Like it's coming down. It's pretty clear. I am with you. It's coming down between Cal, Utah, and Kansas for one or maybe two spots, right? Like maybe 0, maybe 1, maybe 2, probably not 3. But those are the fighters to get in, right? Like the last ones in.
Yeah, I mean those are if you go to 24. If you go to 24. Cody X Reviews 4783. Good to see the boys. Go North Carolina State Wolfpack. Let's give them a little howl.
Let's go.
The Big Lubbock says the ACC gets poached, and there will be 3 power conferences playing themselves. No non-conference games. Each conference will have their own playoff, and those 3 meet up in a 4-team national playoff. I don't agree with that. I do believe the ACC gets, I refer to it as strip mined.
Strip mined.
If you caught the last Moen Confidential, and as I talked to Greg yesterday about, there is a material realignment clause in 2028. And it says that whoever you lose in realignment, you lose the value of those teams. So you just can't, if the ACC's at 17% right now and they lose Clemson, Florida State, Miami, Georgia Tech, that number drops to like 9%. That's how much value those 4 teams bring to the conference.
So they turn in the American Conference?
They would still be an autonomous 4 conference, but they're only going to get a 9% pay. The Big 12 would actually make a higher payout on college football playoff revenue than the ACC would at that point.
Well, just imagine if they left like the restructured ESPN contract with the ACC, because they ain't going to get the same pay if Miami leaves, if Florida State leaves. I would imagine that's going to be adjusted down as well.
More than likely.
Yeah, so you're looking at probably payouts between American and Big 12 for the remaining schools.
You're going to do a little better. You're going to do a little better because you've got that money that they're going to have to buy out. The buyout money will have to be distributed, and they're not going to distribute it as a lump sum. That's going to be over a period of years to make sure other teams don't leave. But I think the term poached is a little romantic in a sense. It's just going to be a straight ass fucking. They're going to take all the value they can. They're going to strip all the value they can from the ACC, and you're going to be left with what you're left with. And I don't see inter-team playoffs. I just see you're going to have everybody's going to agree to the same rules, and everybody's going to be in the same playoff, or whoever agrees to whatever rules are going to be in the same playoff. Just my opinion. What do you think, you?
Tend to agree.
LC versus the Earth wants to know, why would Cal not be an academic ad? It would be an academic ad, but the problem is Cal and Stanford are 20 minutes from each other. You don't need to double the marketplace.
So, Moan, if the SEC went to 24 teams, kind of getting around here just to try to understand the lay of the land with Cal, with like the desert teams, the mountain teams, the 24 teams for the SEC, that would be legit prospects. Virginia,
North Carolina, Clemson, Florida State, Kansas would be one. I don't know that you take another school in Texas. You've already got Texas and Texas A&M.
No, you wouldn't take another school in Texas. You wouldn't go take another school in Oklahoma either.
Okay. Do you take Colorado?
You know what? That's exactly where, like, I was kind of originally thinking. I was going to see if you came with that too. Fergie actually made mention of that in the comments too. Look, like the SEC has a lot of the same criteria as the Big Ten, what they want. They want AAU. They want big research institutions. They want big football programs, brands, right? That's what like it's pretty easy. Everyone wants the same thing, and like the Power 2. Colorado is a really like sneaky good ad, right? Like they're right there. Man, like I would have to imagine that.
Yeah, but at that point, you're also you have to take Arizona State.
Well, I think ASU fits the SEC pretty good.
I think Arizona does as well. They're AAU. They've got a huge basketball brand. I think Arizona's a better ad for the SEC than ASU.
They might be both. Like getting into Arizona, which is a recruiting hotbed now, getting into Colorado, which has it's a very wealthy state, right? There's a lot of benefits to get in, like into Boulder, Denver. It's something to keep an eye on. Because they are basically targets that you could see them want to pursue because of AAU, things we've said before. Like they fit the mold, and then introduce new footprints. If you got a Kansas, maybe a Colorado would make sense. Maybe an ASU would make sense, although you're not contiguous because you've got New Mexico right there. Be more travel for Arizona. But like Colorado is an interesting one for the SEC.
Absolutely. Thank you for the super chat, LC. I'll give you a little USC fight song. Big Lubbock says Greg Pflugar is genius, convincing America that eating a cheeseburger is worse punishment than drinking Mad Dog or eating Skyline chili. I'm telling you what, I had a craving for Mad Dog this week. Absolutely.
If we're going to do another Mad Dog challenge, like we better freaking make it. Like we better have some good, like Big Ten Wizard or it's got to be an absolute banger. Because I'm not just doing Mad Dog and some Given Friday or whatever. Like it's got to be a special occasion for the community.
You're right. It's got to be an absolute banger because it's expensive to try and smuggle Mad Dog to bootleg. I can't believe this. I'm a bootlegger. I bootlegged Mad Dog into Utah.
You did, and it showed up in some weird box.
Greg is the king at White Castle. I don't like White Castle.
No, it's disgusting.
Army of 48 breakaway. So I think go black thinking. SEC and Big Ten go to 24 each. Stormy Cyclone says, more cowbell. Have you pooping in gold diapers? Like, more cowbell. Big Lubbock says Salt Lake City is equal to Siberia. Lubbock is equal to Saudi Arabia.
Look, Moan, here's the deal. Like sometimes on social media, I get a little bit moody sometimes, and I lash out at Texas Tech. Like, I'm sorry, like I get moody, guys. Like, and I felt compelled to call Texas Tech and Lubbock the Saudi Arabia of college football. Okay, so this is where the genesis of where this is, and so it's fair to say that Salt Lake City is the Siberia, if Lubbock's the Saudi Arabia of college football. That's where this comes from.
Conundrum says, I haven't seen any Moen commercials on October Saturdays. Again, because Moen's not an egomaniac stroking his ego like certain Texas billionaires. And I stand by the fact, and people may not like it, Cody Campbell's going to fuck up 15 teams out of the 16 teams in the Big 12. And
I got to push back on you a little bit.
He wants to be savior of the Big 12, and I'm telling you right now, he is going to screw it up for the other 15.
Here's my thoughts. Tell me if I'm wrong, Moan. To me, it's just a speed conversation. It seems like this breakaway idea hatched multiple years ago. SEC's been hinting at it. Like, yeah, it's like, how fast is it going to happen? Is it going to happen because Cody Campbell's paying a ton of money and there's no regulation? That is a good excuse to make it happen faster. But I think no matter what, it's going to happen, right? Like, and so it's like when more than if. That's what I think of, like, this Cody Campbell conversation. It just speeds it up.
Maybe, but I think if he keeps pushing this, he's going to push the Big 12. I get it. He wants to spend it, and I have no problem with Cody Campbell spending $150 billion on Texas Tech. Spend all the money you want. But we had this house settlement. We had this agreement about the CSC. Everybody needs to sign on board. The fact is that the Attorney General from Texas is opposed to it. The fact is also that Cody Campbell is a big political donor to that Attorney General in Texas. And I think he's going to screw it up for the rest of the Big 12. And I think the Big 12's walking right into it, and they don't see it. And when it happens, they're going to be upset. And, it's like in Watchmen when Rorschach says they'll whisper up, help us, and I'll say no. By that time, the Big 10 and the SEC will have moved on. Bob Swanger says Cody Campbell doesn't care about college football or the Big 12. Wet Blanket, good to see you. Oklahoma State Cowboy. Josh Pate said Oklahoma State is having a Texas Tech effect. I could only hope.
No, check it out, Moan. I heard this today. Like, I absorb a lot of college football content. It's my passion, right? And somebody was speaking, I wish I had the source to it, about Oklahoma State. Get this, like, this has at least been mentioned out there in the ether and everything. Oklahoma State, apparently, Wet Blanket probably knows more about this, has some secret Cody Campbell-esque benefactor. It's basically pulling like a T. Boone Pickens in the dark. So basically they're on the sidelines waiting for Gundy to retire, and all of a sudden they come out and they're throwing bags. And if you look at what's going on at Oklahoma State, they paid a huge amount of money to move all that North Texas, the coaching staff over, the money, like the quarterback, all of the players and stuff in North Texas. I think there's something to that. I think they've got some maybe secret clandestine NIL support, maybe an oil tycoon. I don't know exactly who it is. Nobody does. But watch that. Watch it.
According to Town Hawk, by the way, Jayhawk Squawk, it is Garth Brooks.
What? Shut the front door.
Garth Brooks is the NIL source.
No.
Tony Lawson says BYU missed the playoffs because they got smoked twice by TT. Smoked like a Tarleton. NBA teams have to pay a tax when they play in Utah. Is college play exempt to this? Just curious. NBA teams have to pay a tax when they play in Utah?
I'm not aware of that. I don't think that's accurate.
Okay, that's a weird one. Big Lubbock says everybody likes Texas Tech, Miami, and Oregon.
And Oklahoma State with Garth Brooks.
Oklahoma State.
Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks is the Oklahoma State secret clandestine NFL tycoon. Man, I hope that's true. Holy smokes.
Frosty Mug 3123. Great to see you, Frosty Mug. If you have not been a subscriber yet, please consider giving us a subscribe. Something is seriously off with the Big 12 commish. He's like a puppet of the SEC commish.
It's weird.
I'm going to have to defend Brett Yormark here. I'm going to have to defend him. I think Brett Yormark sees what I see. And I think Brett Yormark sees the Big 12 getting cut out. And I think he wants to make sure if anybody survives, it's the Big 12 is still playing football against the SEC and the Big 10.
If it's as dire as you mention, as Greg mentions, as we've seen from Sankey, then yeah, I mean, like if he thinks it's already a done deal almost, like, and he's just trying to slow it, then what his behaviors make sense, right? Like politicking and everything, just try to appease. It's just really bad optics, right? And especially if there's a pull away regardless, then it looks like weak leadership.
Frosty Mug again says Big 12 and ACC should sue ESPN and the SEC for collusion and fraud. $20 million per team in the playoffs for the ESPN SEC cartel. Unless the Big 12 and ACC put their foot down and demand a cap on SEC greed, the Big 12 and ACC are done for. Michael Smith says Utah should move to the ACC with another Western team to bolster the Western sector. I believe that was a possibility at one point, wasn't it, you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the SEC and the Utah links happened multiple times. The SEC was recruiting Utah to come over before it jumped over to the Big 12 conference. And not just Utah, they wanted Arizona State and the Four Corners school, not the Four, Colorado had already signed with the Big 12. But Brett Yormark, he really wanted Utah, and so he made it happen. He came to Salt Lake and
gave him a sweetheart.
Gave him a sweetheart deal, like without signing like the 99-year agreement, and so he actually got it done before the ACC could get its offer in a row. So that was the first go around. The second go around with that was a year or two after and stuff, when there was a reporter out in like New York that reported that there was more chatter heating up with the Utah and the ACC. I don't know. Like, it's not going to happen, though. Utah's not moving the ACC.
Clint Moses, an Oregon State Beaver fan, says Big 12 are riding the coattails of Miami and Indiana, saying that could be us. Big Lubbock says Texas Tech's better than Utah. Well, yeah, Texas Tech made the playoffs. Didn't do much in the playoffs, but they made the playoffs.
I'll tell you this, Moan. Like, Utah won 11 football games this last season. And I've never seen so much shade come to a football team after an 11-win season. Just shade after shade after shade. That's how it is.
Clint Moses also said your drink low-key looked like piss.
Oh, man.
I don't know what your cocktail was made of, but to each his own. Greg says Minnesota Golden Gophers won their 9th bowl game in a row. We are always bowl winners. True, they're just not great bowl games. It's usually like the Goodyear Tire Stem Bowl. I don't know about Purdy. I just hope that CY, the mascot, doesn't go to Penn State.
You know what, Moen? I realized, too, there's several comments. I think I mentioned Brock Purdy over Rocco Becht, in my little rant on my losers there. So I can't wait to carve this out tomorrow. And check it out, everyone that's listening to this live stream. We're going to put that out tomorrow and stuff on like the losers of bowl season. The fact that I said Brock Purdy over Rocco Becht, just look at the comments, popcorn and stuff on how we will get slammed. It's going to be awesome.
It's prima facie.
Yeah.
Moen pulling a Scanners movie scene. My head has not exploded yet, but Scanners is a great movie. I'm rooting for Utah to the Big Ten and Colorado to the SEC.
Utah's got a good relationship with Colorado. Very similar in a lot of ways, and I would love to see Colorado in the SEC. I don't want to see any of like the schools that Utah's been with for a long time getting left out. That sucks to get left behind, right?
Okay, let's pump the brakes. Pump the brakes here. When did Utah join the Pac-12? When did Utah join the Pac-12?
Utah had been in the Pac-12 for it's a long time. I don't even remember. Like,
long time. Yeah, after the 21st century.
I just remember time and time again having a deluxe Napa Valley wine and caviar and cheese on sailboats out, in San Francisco and San Diego.
What was it? It was 2010?
Huh?
2010 you joined?
Maybe, probably something like that. Long time peers, Moan.
Yeah, long time peers. Utah's a better market when you've got Stanford for the greater San Francisco Bay Area.
I mean, that's the problem if you're Cal, right? Like Cal, what does it have over Utah? Has way better academics. It is. Like it's in the state of California. But you already own, in this scenario, you own 3 California-based teams, and you own the market if you have Stanford. You've got LA and you've got San Francisco covered. So I don't really know why the Big Ten would want to double dip in San Francisco. Seems like a huge net loss on that school.
They double dipped in LA.
Well, yeah, LA is one thing. San Francisco, they first off don't care about football. Like really, they don't care about football. How many games do they sell out over there? Right? They can't sell either stadium out, and no, they don't even have fan bases out there, man. Like I got to be real about it.
All right,
I think
Antoine Johnson says those 2 fingers were a little too close together. So this is not the Arizona State.
Fork 'em, man.
That is not. That is yes, it's fork 'em. I'm agreeing with you. It's fork 'em. You're going to fork them when you do this, but that is not the Arizona State symbol.
What? Okay, so fork them for ASU. It's not this?
I think he's saying you've got to separate them, brother. That's the fork 'em. That's fork 'em. No,
so,
that's
so we're saying this is something different than this, right?
Yes. That is something that is clearly different. I will talk to you about it after the show and explain.
I'm from Utah, Moan. Come on, give me a break.
I know. You don't know what the shocker is. Stormy Cyclone says you're Spock impersonators. No, that's this. That's a Spock impersonation.
That's Spock.
Kansas, Colorado, and Arizona State connect the rest of the U.S. with the SEC and give the next 3 best markets not in the P2. We are with you, and we have old friends that would help.
See, Colorado's old friends. Old friends. It's all about old friends, Moan. Especially in this transfer portal era.
Conundrum reminds everybody to hit a like button, and thank you, Conundrum, for reminding us. Hit a like button, leave a comment, share the link, do all those kind of things. They don't cost you anything. They help boost us in the algorithm. We're up to 5,300 subscribers. I'd love to get to 6,000 by the time we hit March, and we're going to do that with hard work and dedication and the support of our fans. Thank you. Got one more super chat here from our friend Ricky Tungate. If Cal goes to the Big Ten, Calamoni would be done. Right. That's absolutely correct. There would be no Calamoni.
Oh, my gosh.
UCLA would be able to cut off $10 million in Calamoni payments. Correct you?
Sounds right.
I closed my soundboard, so I'm just going to let him cook.
Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
Absolutely. Thank you for the super chat, Ricky Tungate. It is much appreciated, sir. Thank you for that again. I'm rooting for the Hoosiers. I've got one more Indiana hat. I will wear it on Sunday for Mowing After Dark. Wild you, what do you want to say to close this bad boy out? We've been on the air for 2 hours.
I think that is a very, very insightful comment right there. That could be like a secret dagger in Big Ten realignment. The fact of Calamoni, when you factor that in, and all of a sudden you've got UCLA's vote. It doesn't change anything for USC, but you've got one more vote. You've got UCLA's strong support, and maybe others from the Big Ten that don't want to see the Calamoni situation. I've got to really digest that one. Yep. What do you think,
right.
Mon?
My last
Go
one.
Indiana, go Miami. Hope it's a great game.
I hope it's a blowout. Indiana blows out Miami. Sorry, Miami fans. I'm a Big Ten guy. I'm rooting for a Big Ten team. And there's no better story in college football than the Indiana Hoosiers. There really isn't. Although they do deserve a better looking bikini than the oven mitt that Ute has splashed on that IU. But yeah, I'll wear the Bison hat on Sunday. Tune in on Sunday at 7 p.m. for Mowing After Dark with myself and Rock and Rant. I'm sure he'll wear a Hurricanes hat. So should be fun. But I want to thank Nate for joining me tonight. I want to thank Ute for joining me tonight. I want to thank me for joining me tonight, because without me, there would be no me. I want to thank you fans for joining us tonight, because without you, there would be no show. I want to thank everybody who helped support the channel tonight. We do appreciate it. Mark Bowman, Ricky Tungate, Miami Flow, Bulldog Mississippi, the Evil Badger, CFP Peek Around the Corner with Greg Flugar, Expedition Greg, Daniel Gygax, Jacobra Cat, LC versus the Earth, and Ricky Tungate again. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome. Oi, oi, oi. We will catch you guys next Friday, but check me out on Sunday on Mowing After Dark. Leave your comments in the comment section below. We always read comments. We try to respond to as many as we can. And again, that helps us in the algorithm. So we will see you guys on Sunday. Until then, peace out.